tell you, I'm used to this being slow. When I used to go live, I could remember like my old Dell laptop, which is underneath my Chromebook. It took forever, like thing, and sometimes it wouldn't go, and it was like, if I talk about the path of the most least resistance of the most difficult resistance, try getting a old Dell Latitude from like '97 or something to fucking get on this. It ain't easy. Warrior Junior here for another educational episode of life and how you can learn from all my mistakes that I continue to make throughout my half century plus on this planet we call Earth. I'm kind of glad no one listens to me because, you know, people only want to listen to when you make it, when you got money, when you got status, when you're famous, when you're an actor or something like that, or a businessman that's got money. Everybody who's listening to you, everybody tries to get on the bandwagon of the successful. When you're not, you're just looked at like a nothing, and peon or whatever. And this is important segue because that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. We're going to talk about direction, and it's ironic because I was carrying my groceries home from the market about an hour ago, and I could see everybody going to work or whatever. They're all driving one way, and here I'm walking the other way. And I think to myself, who really is free here? Like who who is really free? Like I gotta go to work so I can pay for this car and the gas that goes in there and the insurance that goes along with it, and if they own a house or a condo, the mortgage, the payment, the girls is with, and the kids and the pets and the fucking food. And then if there's a vacation, all this money that you need because you put so much on your fucking plate in life. You are the result. You are to blame for everything that you have done, everything that you do, and everything that you're going to do. Most people follow this narrative, the generic, the peon, linear, robotic, mechanical mind of what everybody else does. And so you have to be like that. You can't be different. You're unique as a human. We're all different, unique, but different is cut from a different cloth. And most people, they don't fucking, they overwhelm themselves with all this shit that you don't need. You really don't need. They put so much on their plate. The dog's got to be walked. Well, why do you fucking need it, dude? Because you know what it does. It just occupies time. It occupies your loneliness, your weakness. That's all it is. The reality is you don't need any of these things. You choose to do these things because this programming that tells you that that's what you're supposed to do. You do what everybody else does and do go along with everybody else, and that's going to be the way life is. You know, it's just a stupid way of existence that you don't, and that's why I don't like most people. I don't like people in general because there's no reason um, to God, to not just associate but communicate with most people because there's nothing to be. nothing to gain. There's, this is a selfish fucking world, dude. This is a selfish existence. And in this existence, nobody is going to do the heavy lifting for you. I'm sorry that it's not as clear. I'm not trying to hide myself here. It's just it's the way that the lighting is. I'm not embarrassed by the way I look. It's just a fucking camera that's kind of low quality. I'm sorry. It's hard to invest money into something that no, there's nothing to be had. Who wants to see a balding Jewish guy talk about the truth? If when I start talking the truth, people get really mad. I mean, I could really, really open up and tell people, really what's going on. And what you call me? Yeah, reality is most of you are just fucking slaves, dude. Modern day fucking slaves. Because you're programmed, to be one. You wouldn't die on your feet. You would serve on your knees is what you would choose to do. And that's what most of you basically are doing. You're basically sheep that go along with everybody else, and because you're scared, to fucking really be who you are as a unique individual. How would I? It doesn't matter how you would. You wouldn't attempt to shift into taking any real chances. Most of your people, your idea of taking a chance is buying a lotto ticket or something. That's your idea of pick or a scratcher. That's your idea of taking a chance in life. Most. Um, I'm trying to remember what. Oh, okay. So you know, I'm doubling down on cardio because I'm trying to get ready for this. The bodybuilding show, and then I just found out that the Big Bear Marathon, the full marathon, is canceled due to Highway 38, and partially as they uh, they said it is destroyed. Quite a term. The mudslides have destroyed Highway 38. Okay, you just can't fucking race is not for another month. You would think just clean it up and but no, the half marathon continues, the full marathon does not. And I will do it. I don't give a shit, whatever. The half marathon is a nothing, it's a 13.1. I can do that, and it's a nothing. Um it's kind of interesting because this park that I go to with these steps, there was some guy that was positioned toward the corner of the steps with his laptop, and it was like 3 in the morning. And I was kind of surprised to see somebody sitting there, just as they were kind of surprised to see me. And I ignored them, and they pretty much left me alone. I guess when this person decided to leave, they got up and stopped to watch me run for a second. And I did 45, what I call laps up and down. And it's good, dude. It's there. You cannot beat the hard ass work. Um, when the snot is coming out of your nose and you're sweating, your hair is soaked, and your body is sweat. It's good. Suffering is good. It has value. I don't think people really. I see people jogging around and doing some shit, but I still think what they're doing is pussy ass shit. They're not really forging the best version of themselves. I think it's a pussy little shit that most people do that have very little value. It has some value, some, but my call going to the bank of fitness, you can take out pennies or you can take out massive withdrawals or making big ass deposits. Not this pussy ass shit that I see most people doing. This is good tea. It's herbal berry. Um, um, Other time wasting statement. Uh, I am glad not to go along with most people's the way most people think and live. And when you decide, if you ever decide, to forge your own path, it is you are asking for one hell of a challenge. It's to say it's difficult is to say the least. You could literally go nowhere. You could literally drive yourself off of a cliff chasing your dreams. You could do things that have very little value to society, which lead to $0, no recognition, very little, a ton of hard work, and extreme disappointment is more than likely one or all of those combined is the is what could happen more than likely when you try to forge your own path. You could try to start your own business and make no business and just get destroyed in the process. It's funny because like when something hits, everybody knows. But for the most part, it's a struggle. It's a fucking, and then it could just be an uphill battle where the biggest boulder you can imagine is coming down the hill and it's gonna roll right over you into bankruptcy. $0, as my ex-girlfriend usually used to say the term. When I'm running, I don't know why, but I feel like when I'm doing my little runs up and down the stairs, I feel like I'm being, testing my limitations. I feel like my boundaries, the difficulties and stuff. It's like hard to breathe, sweating, the snot's coming out of your nose, hair is soaked, what little hair I have on my head. I have like a baggy shirt that I wear to the park, and then I take it off when I'm, even at 3 in the morning. My body's soaked with sweat, and David Goggins talks about this. He would say like, why, why the fuck am I doing this? Sometimes. But then when he's about a third into whatever he's doing, he finds the answer. And I kind of like think about that. I think about how hard running up and down these steps are, and then what are you getting off of this? I'm in Los Angeles, and this is a superficial culture of status and money and fame. That's it. The type of grinding and sweating and ugly. Nobody wants to see that, and nobody wants to pay for that. Nobody wants to do it. But I do, and because I feel like to crack the mold of who you are, that doesn't work, that doesn't amount to much. You got to do things that are extreme, and you got to do them all the time. Can't just do it once, and be like, all right, well, all right, I did that. Now it's back to the being a fucking lackey or whatever. So I continually go out there and put myself in uncomfortable situations. I notice in my pussy gym, they got all these fans around trying to make fucking people feel comfortable, the cool air, the fan. That ain't fucking a way a warrior fucking trains. That's the way a fucking pussy faggot trains. John Reed Fitness, these fucking places. This is these times, man. Let me tell you something. This is a fucking biggest pussy wimp culture, path of least resistance people. That I've this is so it's so pathetic. Far from weak. That guy, he's got it right when he talks about that. It's pathetic, you know. And when I'm on those steps at 3 in the morning, going up and down, I've done it midnight, one, two, three. You know, I'm glad that I'm able to go against this narrative of generic generic ways that people are taking classes and going along with everybody else, man. That ain't how you forge your own path. You don't fucking need people. You don't need their approval, and you don't need them to watch, and you don't need to tell anybody. They don't fucking matter, dude. They're all equally worthless. That's the truth. Worthless beings, most of them. It's like I embrace what's hard and uncomfortable, A lot of people, they ain't gonna do that. Fucking sucks. Go ahead and go run up steep steps back and forth till snot's coming out your nose, till sweat's pouring off your forehead, your body is soaked. Go ahead. Go ahead, dude. And then you can talk to me. You people won't go there. Very few go to these places because it's so uncomfortable, and then you're just gonna you're gonna look like an idiot and get embarrassed. First off, you need to be advanced in anything, in any form of capacity of fitness to be able to even do any of the things like that or I seen these guys, young guys. I'm running up and down and up and down again 40 times, 45, 60, 100 over the past 5 days. And you know what I see young people doing? Walking to the top. That's one half, sitting down for an hour and then leaving. Or there's one other, I don't know what the fuck he was. He went about halfway up, which is one quarter. He looked around for a second. He came back down. Like, what are you doing, dude? You think you're gonna get my attention? You think you're gonna talk to me? You could try. You're not gonna get an answer. I got news for you. You're gonna get a finger. Is what you're gonna get. That's about it for me. Why? Why would I talk to you? Why? How many is that? It's time. Is that for your fucking as many as you could take a dick in your ass? Whatever you fucking people. Mind your own fucking business. Yeah, I'll run with you. You can't run with me, dude. You will die. Do you understand that? You will last about 3 minutes. You think you're gonna run with me? You think you're gonna run with me? You're fucking out of you will be so embarrassed. You'll be out of breath in 3 minutes. Thinking, and that's the arrogance of the lazy. The thinking I can do it too. I can do it too. You can't, dude. You can't. That's like a fucking piece of shit car trying to keep up with a fucking. I don't know what to say. I mean, I was gonna say like a F4, like a fucking, an F-16 or something. I'm trying to think of something absolutely ridiculous that it's like, when it shows in Top Gun, he's trying to, the motorcycle is trying to keep up with the fucking F-18 Hornet or whatever. The fuck. You're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind. Think you're gonna keep up. You just stop by and you have no training under your belt. And there's a guy like me do the same thing in the gym. That's the funniest thing of all. Like nobody, it's you're fucking out. You will be ground into the ground. You will be grinded into the ground very quickly if you try to hang with me. You won't do it in any capacity, none. You're not going to do it in fucking calisthenics. You're not going to do it in cardio. You're not going to do it in a workout with me. You're not going to get through it. You're not going to do what I can do because I do this every day, multiple times a day, working. It would just be funny, like but it wouldn't do anything for me because I already know. You think you're gonna come in with your alcohol fuel, alcohol fuel, like whatever they're on smoking, they, oh yeah, I can do it too. Yeah, you think that high is gonna keep you going. What's gonna happen is you're gonna last about 3 minutes, and then it's all then reality is gonna smack you in the fucking face if I don't do it first. Just you're be an idiot, and that's what most people are arrogant fucking lazy idiots. How can somebody that chooses the path of least resistance expect to hold themselves with somebody that chooses the path of hard artist resistance. It's like a diamond is gonna cut through you. You know, like you're a fool. You're a fool, and that's what most of people are. You know, they think that they're something extraordinary, like they're arrogant because it's arrogant and the lazy in the mind, you know, and thinking that, you know, oh yeah, yeah, I can do it too, you know. This goes back to my friend that it's real funny. I've got 9 bodybuilding shows under my belt. 9. I hold 4 titles, and I'm the only one 40 to only one. Okay, that was in contest. 2 of my titles were awarded because I'm the only one 40 to 49, and then only one 50 to 59. And my friend goes, he's like 37, and he doesn't even. By the time I'm 40, I'll do it too. I'll be there. I'll be on stage. And I go, no, you won't. You will not be. The only place you will be is in the crowd, possibly, but you will not be the only one. Like I was the only one, because these idiots that sit there in the crowd, if I know what they're thinking, they're also in their 40s and 50s, many guys, and they look at me and go, I can do it too, I can do it also. You can't do it, dude. You can't, because you haven't and you won't. So the reality is I have the medals, I have the titles, I'm the only one, and that's it. So until it's shown otherwise, this mentality of I can do it too, you can't do it too. So it's just a funny, you know, like it's funny because I I can do it too. You can't, you fucking morons. I can do it too. Oh God. That's going to be the next episode. I'm just going to laugh, you know, for an hour because, you know, I I can do it too. Oh man, what a bunch of worthless fucking people, you know, like just most of you. That's why I don't talk to anybody. That's why I ignore. I went to Trader Joe's last night, and this woman, the cashier, whatever. I wish they had automated, you know, like just get rid of all these worthless people, so I can just pay. I can scan. I like scanning myself and paying myself. I do. I love doing the work on my own. I don't need you people. I don't need you at all. And you know that this woman, she overcharged me for one of my butter chickens. The butter chicken, I love that they have there, and she charged me for 3 and I only bought 2. Well, I looked at the receipt. I knew the price was I knew the price was something was wrong. And when I went outside, I looked at that receipt and I saw that it was charged for an extra 450. I went back in there and I went to that same goddamn line, and she knew hell was gonna freeze over when I got up there. So when it came my turn, she got the fuck out of there. She knew I was coming for blood, and I took the bag and and I checked to make sure there was I did not buy 3. I just wanted to make sure so I didn't look like an idiot. I turned over the bag and I fucking dumped everything out that was in the fucking bag, and I said, "There's only, oh sir, okay, here's your 450 back. You'll give you return $4.50 to you." Didn't offer me anything else, you know, just your money back. Oh wow, fucking assholes, bunch of fucking faggots. I'm sorry, I get mad because I'm mad at myself is really what it is. I'm not mad at anybody out there. I'm mad at myself because as you get older and you make mistakes, it's a very big deal. And if you come away with anything after anything that I've ever said here, take heed to this. Be very careful as you get older, and because a catastrophic mistake, mainly financial is what I'm talking about, can destroy you. Can fucking destroy you, okay? It can destroy you. First, it destroys you financially. It can destroy you psychologically. Break your spirit and your will, like because yeah, we're not living in the times of barter system anymore. Money is a universal acceptance, and when you make mistakes financially, it just carries over, into everything. Everything costs money, like, and when you make a catastrophic financial mistake in an investment, or whatever, wow, I mean, now you don't have money to do this and to do that because I fucking put it into this and thinking that this is going to happen and I got destroyed, and wow, and it carries over, like they say depression can be attributed to financial catastrophes that that making bad business decisions, losing money on this, thinking that this was, so I put more money into that, and then that went to shit. And wow, I mean, there's so many things that can kill you financially. Like it's a very bad. So if you learn anything, want to learn anything when I'm talking about financially, as you get older, be well aware that when you go after something and then there's nothing behind it, you could be left out there with nothing, and that's not good. That's basically what happened with me about a month and a half ago. I'm not going to get into it on this episode, but I'm just going to tell you there was a financial catastrophe for me, which is all my doing, and it it hurt me bad. Um, it didn't wipe me out of all my assets, of all my collectibles and all my shit yet, but it hit me pretty fucking hard as far as any disposable income that I would have had, to be able to do things between now and the end of the year would have been no problem. But I got caught in a fucking trap of my own choice, and this is really, really difficult. We all have things, these anchors that can hold us down. Some more than others, some bigger than others. So I urge you to try to create the best version of yourself, and by destroying and cutting out these anchors that hold you down in life, because it's bad. They are so easy to fuck you up. Toxic people, toxic substances, addictions, these are all bad things, man, and there's no way around it. They all just have to be cut away and destroyed like a cancer. And if you don't, they inevitably win. They're too strong. They're toxic things, dude. And as you get older, the weight of these things are no good. They're just no good to be around. Man, you know, I yeah, I did 45 steps. Excuse me, sorry. I was just laying down for a bit, but I did also like 13.1 miles on the bike, a half marathon on a bike last night. So like doing cardio on top of cardio, I'm really trying to lean out, and it's hard because the leaner you get, the harder it is to get more. Hate it when they say the world's a hard place. It's tough. Life is hard. When they say challenging, I don't like that term hard. Take life as a challenge and destroy all these external forces that have no value. Worthless people, mostly. Stop giving people attention. Don't be nice, be kind. Why? Why not just ignore? I think it's harder as you get older. I know I hate that word hard, but when you're young, seems like you got more natural energy. Like there's more things to look forward to. Oh yeah, let me go here. Maybe I'll meet somebody. I'll do something. Maybe I'll go there. I'll find something. It'll be kind of interesting. Maybe I could do this. That could be interesting. And guess what happens, dude? Time adds up. You know, get into your 30s and you think, all right, well, I could still try to do all this kind of stuff and go out there. Somewhere around the mid 30s, oh shit. Because there's a generational shift by the time you hit that certain age where now you got younger people that are coming in as you get older. So you're not part of that that generation now. Now you're part of you know older one, and then you get in your 40s and it starts to like spread out. The chasm between the younger and then you becomes really apparent when you're 50 years old. And that's like where I'm at. I'm gonna be 52 next month. I don't mind. I can't stop the earth from rotating, and in your age, and that doesn't bother me per se. Anyway, I think I pretty much covered everything for this episode that I planned on talking about. It's hard because I really haven't ruffled the feathers yet. I can really go there, man. I could really go to a place that would make you so mad that you would, because most of you, again, the fragile egos, you could not handle the reality. And that's all I have to do is tell it to you. And you would just like want to tear me limb from limb because, and that's all I'm doing is delivering the truth that you don't want to hear. It's amazing. I want you to think about that. Let that be the segue for the next episode. Like, think about how sensitive you are. Somebody you don't even know can say something that could really piss you off because it's the fucking truth, dude. They're telling you the truth to your face, and you're getting mad because you don't want to hear it. Because you're a fucking pussy, that's why.